Hey, welcome back. I want to ask you today, are you going through a difficult thing? Where is there some pain in your life right now? And do you believe that God could bring good out of that pain that you're going through? Well, we just started in the book of Colossians, and Colossians was written by Paul the Apostle. You may recall when we were in the book of Philippians, the letter of joy, that Paul was writing it from a prison cell. Well, Philippians is not the only letter that God used Paul's prison to produce. From prison, Paul wrote the letter of joy, Philippians, but he also wrote this letter called Colossians. In fact, there are 2 of 4 books in the Bible that are called, quote, prison epistles. An epistle just means letter, prison letters. So God used Paul's suffering to bring about, really, Colossians. It's one of my favorite books in the New Testament. I'm glad we've got a whole month to go through it. I'll get into that tomorrow and in the coming days, why this book of the Bible is so special and so important. But in verse 2, Paul writes, and he says, "We are writing to God's holy people in the city of Colossae." We'll learn more about the city of Colossae as we go through, but this was actually not a church Paul had founded himself. One of his disciples had founded this church. And when he says we, he's talking about Timothy, the young pastor who he was training. Paul was Timothy's mentor. And Paul says, "I'm here with Timothy. We're writing you from prison, and we're so glad to send this letter to you in Colossae." Now, back where we started, where there's pain in your life today, where you're in a prison of some sort today, have faith that if you'll continue to walk with God, to surrender to God, to give God the gifts you have, even in your prison, He can bring about greatness even from what you're going through right now. I'll see you tomorrow.